Happening now, our local congressman is calling for a peaceful transition, this after President Trump is impeached for a second time. Plus, the governor's plan to further green energy across the state.
Well, the clouds are around continuing for the afternoon, but the rain and snow is done, but there could be some more snow in the forecast for the weekend. We'll talk about it next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. We start with the latest numbers in the COVID-19 pandemic, with one new death connected to the virus and 67 new cases reported in Chautauqua County yesterday. The County Health Department's COVID-19 dashboard reported the death involved a 40-year-old with 46 deaths linked to the virus since the pandemic started. Of the new cases, 12 are in the Jamestown area. There are now 695 cases active countywide, and the county's 7-day average percent positivity rate is 11.9%. That down from 12.5%. There are 42 people hospitalized with COVID-19. That's steady from the update earlier in the week. Public Health Director Christine Schuyler says COVID-19 is a very hard infection to fight once a patient gets sick. That's why she says it's important to stop the spread initially.
And it's sad to say people need to fight it when they're laying in the hospital and being sick. People need to fight it by preventing it to begin with. And
3,500 residents have received the first dose, just under 3% of the population. Over 300 people have received the second dose so far. Well, the Chautauqua County's executive is addressing concerns about a local hospital reaching capacity and the local effort to vaccinate elderly residents against COVID-19 in the county. Executive P.J. Wendell, speaking on this program yesterday, says that the hospital reaching capacity was not COVID-19 specific, but rather the medical provider had simply reached their threshold. All non-life-threatening calls were diverted to nearby hospitals, and as of yesterday morning, all of the hospital capacity at Brooks there in Dunkirk are back to normal.
But it's a matter of the system working and keeping the system working, so nobody really knows, that there's any stress. People got to hospitals, and people got the care they needed.
With regards to the vaccinations becoming available to residents 65 and older, Wendell says that as of Wednesday, 300 doses went online within 20 minutes and those spots filled up. As of now, he says the best thing to do is to log into the state's website and sign up to be on the waiting list. Well, during the third installment of New York's State of the State address yesterday, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced a 4-step plan for building the green economy in New York. As WNY News Now's Hope Winter explains, Cuomo asserted that converting to renewable energy will not only fuel the economy and provide future jobs, but it will also be essential to our survival.
Our planet is in crisis. By every metric, it is clear. Sea levels are rising, ice caps are shrinking, California is burning, the Arctic is melting, deserts are flooding. We have a once-in-100-year storm happening twice a year. 2020 was tied as the hottest year in history. Nature is telling us, do something or I will.
Governor Cuomo talked more thoroughly about the state's continued push towards green energy on Wednesday, with a $29 billion investment including multiple offshore wind and solar projects. The leader wants to put a green energy system in place that's self-sustaining and can compete with and win the global green market.
With this plan, New York State will now have 5 active port facilities serving the offshore wind industry, more than any other state. These new ports will create 2,600 long and short-term jobs and leverage almost $3 of private funding for every $1 of public funding, a combined $644 million investment in port facilities.
The Battery Storage Project and Offshore Wind Training Institute are two of the three green projects that the state is taking bids for. The other project is aimed at breaking up congestion in the energy grid with building of new transmission lines to connect downstate with our local energy source.
The historic and compounding challenge in New York has been sending the renewable energy from where it can be produced to where it is needed, literally getting from here to there. Much of the available real estate for renewable projects is in upstate New York. Many of the potential wind projects are offshore, while much of the consumer need is in downstate New York.
Governor Cuomo said that other proposals to meet the state's green energy goals not outlined in the State of the State will also be considered. The energy projects, he believes, will create thousands of jobs, helping the state's economy recover post-COVID-19. The governor's Green New Deal set a goal of providing energy to the state's 1.2 million homes and businesses through 100% clean energy by the year 2040. Hope Winter, WNY News Now.
Hope, thank you. New York's COVID-19 response, the budget shortages, rebuilding the state's economy, and reopening the arts were Governor Andrew Cuomo's primary focus in the first 2 days of his State of the State address. Well, sticking in Albany, our local representative in New York State Senate is partnering with a downstate colleague to establish a new food program to help families in need. State Senator George Borrello is pushing legislation that would direct surplus agricultural products to go to local food banks. Borrello says Chautauqua County's Rural Ministry in Dunkirk was among the organizations that benefited from a similar program, serving nearly 4,000 meals weekly while using agricultural products. He says he got the idea after some farms around the county decided to dump excess milk due to low consumer demand during the pandemic. The Republican is working with Democratic Catalina Cruz on the initiative. He says the program would be similar to the current Nourish New York model. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now on this Thursday afternoon. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Dan. Good to see Joyce. Good to see Ollie, Crystal, Mary, and Tom as well. Hopefully you're all having a great day. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments below. Great to see Wallace, Jason, and Hector too. Now let's switch gears and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. That's where we find Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Hey Dakota, happy Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, happy Thursday, my man. You're just so excited to get to that weather.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm not excited for the fact that we had a little bit of snow, but hey, if you've been looking for the snow, we had a little bit. But hey, it's actually cleared out here in Mayville right now. This is a live look over in Mayville. The clouds around 36 degrees is the current temperature there. And we had a little bit of rain and snow this morning. First Defense Doppler shows you that. This is the radar along with the satellite as well. And you can see that little band of rain and snow that moved across Chautauqua County into Cattaraugus County. It's actually started to dissipate now. And the remainder of the afternoon is going to be dry. And we may see a few peaks of sunshine in that cloud cover. The sun is going to be trying to peeking out at times through the cloud cover, but we still do have some fog out there. 2.5 miles is the current visibility in Jamestown right now, 8 miles in Dunkirk, 7 in Olean, and 7 also in Erie. But the good news is this is not like yesterday where we had freezing fog. It's not freezing. Temperatures are above freezing right now, so it's not freezing, but keep your eyes on some of that fog though. 34 was the high yesterday. Only 32 degrees is where we started today. And again, the cloud cover helped keep the temperatures up. 66 and 17 below zero. That was set back in 2015, just a few years ago. So early rain and snow showers come to an end through the afternoon. Cloudy. The clouds may actually start to break up a little bit later in the day, leading to partly sunny skies. 36 to 43 will be our high temperature range for today. Now tomorrow, we'll see some rain and snow, then maybe some lake effect snow for the weekend. We'll talk about what we know in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. Congressman Tom Reed is urging Americans to stay calm as President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration day is less than a week away. Reed's comments came just an hour before President Donald Trump was impeached for the second time by the U.S. House of Representatives yesterday. The congressman himself voted against the impeachment on the sole charge of incitement of insurrection.
Now is the time for us to take a deep breath. Now is the time for us to seek calmness, stay calm, be reasoned in our responses and our rhetoric, and to go forward with a transition of power on January 20th between now and then in a peaceful and calm manner.
Reid also co-introduced legislation with GOP colleagues calling for the censoring of the president. Well, as tensions remain high in the country following last week's violence at the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C. officials are preparing for potential terror threats in the days leading up to that inauguration next week. John Lawrence with more on what that looks like.
More than 20,000 National Guard troops are expected to help keep Washington, D.C. secure as President-elect Joe Biden is sworn into office. That's more than triple the number of active duty U.S. troops in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria combined.
We need to do everything that we can right now to prepare for a safe and smooth transition of power on January 20th.
The U.S. Secret Service is in charge of security for Biden's inauguration, and one goal is to prevent another riot like the one last week at the U.S. Capitol.
This is an organized domestic terrorist threat that the country is facing.
On Wednesday, the White House released a taped statement calling on the country to be calm.
Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat or a Republican, there is never a justification for violence. No excuses, no exceptions. America is a nation of laws.
President Donald Trump also said the people involved in last week's siege on the Capitol will be brought to justice.
Mob violence goes against everything I believe in.
Numerous arrests have been made since the riot, and 31 Democratic members of Congress have asked for an investigation into reports that groups of people were given tours of the Capitol one day ahead of the attack. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. Speaking of those arrests, here in Western New York, this Cheektowaga man is now behind bars for his alleged role in the violence. Arrested Pete Harding was taken into custody this week after the FBI searched his home. It's alleged he tried to light media equipment ablaze as a symbolic gesture outside of the Capitol during those protests. Next, have you received your stimulus check yet? If not, stay tuned. Our team takes a look at when you should see that money in the mail. But first, the latest in the search for a wanted Jamestown teen. This and more as WNY News Now continues on this wet and snowy Thursday afternoon.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back. The SUNY Fredonia community is mourning the loss of one of their own following a skiing accident in Lake Placid this week. 22-year-old junior men's hockey player Tanner Kalahi died Tuesday from injuries sustained in the accident. He's a Pennsylvania native who played for the New Jersey Rockets before enrolling at Fredonia in 2018. He was majoring in business management with a minor in exercise science at the college. Funeral arrangements are being made by a home in his town of Mountaintop, Pennsylvania. Well, the search for a runaway teen in Jamestown has come to an end. Jamestown police say they've been looking for 17-year-old Julius Jenkins since mid-November. Juvenile detectives received word from his friends and family yesterday who say that they've been in contact with him. Police say the teen is wanted for avoiding charges in a criminal matter and never was in danger. They sent a message to their social media followers earlier in the day seeking leads in the case. Well, officials are warning Americans not to mistake their new economic stimulus payment for junk mail. The IRS says about 8 million people will receive their payments in debit cards mailed to their homes. Now, that's on the top of others who will get checks in the mail. So, government officials are asking Americans to keep their eye on what's coming in the mail to make sure that they don't throw away their payments by mistake. Maribel Abel with some tips now on how not to mistake them.
A second round of stimulus checks are landing in bank accounts, but plenty of Americans are still waiting for the money to show up. Many are wondering if they are even entitled to this round of government aid. Money Magazine recently pulled together tips on what to do if you haven't received your payment just yet. To start, you can track the payment through the IRS's Get My Payment tool. It can be accessed at the tax agency's website, irs.gov. But you may encounter delays as demand for the feature has been high. If you receive the first stimulus payment via direct deposit, that's most likely how you'll get this one as well, if you're eligible. If your payment is being mailed to you, be on the lookout for a check or a debit card. The debit cards will arrive in a white envelope with the seal of the Treasury Department. The card itself will have the Visa name on it as well as MetaBank. That's the name of the bank issuing the cards. Once you receive the stimulus money, you'll also get a notice from the IRS indicating how much you were paid. That will arrive in the mail. And if you receive that notice but haven't received the payment, you'll be able to start a trace on the payment by contacting the IRS. For more tips on what to do if you're waiting for the second stimulus payment, check out the full article at money.com.
Maribel, thank you. The IRS also says taxpayers who received checks in the first economic stimulus last year could now receive those debit cards and vice versa. Well, it's time to get new lottery tickets. No one won the Powerball last night, sending the top prize to about $640 million. That was the 34th drawing in a row without a winner. Hopeful millionaires have another chance this Saturday between the Powerball and the Mega Millions jackpot. Nearly $1.4 billion are up for grabs. Of course, please play responsibly. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. We're going to check out some local news headlines. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Now let's get a check of our full weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us from the First Defense Weather Center. And Dakota, this morning, the weather didn't seem to know what it wanted to do. It was raining and snowing pretty much all at the same time.
Yep, I mean, we had everything but the kitchen sink this morning, minus that freezing fog that we had yesterday. But the good news is the little bit of snow that fell is good for the ski resorts. Let's take a look at it. And the bases really haven't changed too much here. The bases are still kind of holding steady from where they were last week. 6 to 30 at Peak and Peak Machine Groom Surface. 8 inches average at Cockaigne, Holiday Valley at 12 to 42 inches. Hollymont 27. And Mount Pleasant down there in Edinburgh 8 to 30 inches. And the surfaces are looking good. But the ski resorts do want more snow. And especially for those of you who are skiers and snowboarders, you want the snow. So where the heck is it? You're probably asking, where is it? We don't know either. I mean, look at this. Still 21 inches of snow for the season. We've had a trace of snow at the airport today, so it really doesn't get counted because it's a trace, but 21 inches officially. Look at where we should be at this date, 46 inches. Way below average, and part of this is due to the fact that this January, even though in a way it really doesn't seem like it, this January has actually been warmer than average. All the days here that are highlighted in orange are high temperatures for the date that are above the average. When you combine all the temperatures together, our average temperature is 30.1 degrees. That's over 6.5 degrees above normal as we run right now. Now understand this data is flawed because we're not at the end of the month yet, but as we run, we are at 6.5 degrees degrees above normal right now. We'll see where we end January when we get closer. 34 degrees is where we sit right now as a noon hour. Hey, the DoubleTree camera is not frozen over like it was yesterday, but we have some of the evidence of the rain that was falling. And again, the fog's still out there. 2.5 miles is the current visibility at the airport. Again, that's where all the weather observations are taken. So there is some fog out there, so be careful of that as you go out this afternoon. Satellite and radar composite shows you just the clouds around again with some of those rain and snow showers earlier this morning. This is the next cold front that's going to be heading our way tomorrow, and that is going to bring a big change to our weather for the weekend. So let's time it out here on FutureScan. You can see the model does show you a few rain and snow showers early this afternoon. That tapers off. Expect a lot of clouds around for the afternoon, but there could be some peaks of sunshine. So you may see the yellow star in the sky later this afternoon. Not full sunshine, but it will try to peek out. Now we start the day tomorrow with a few rain showers. The rain is going to increase in coverage as we go through the day tomorrow. And look what happens here. We actually see a changeover to rain and snow, then to all snow as we go later in the day on Friday. That'll likely continue early Saturday. Now the big question for the weekend is we could see some pockets of lake effect snow setting up off the eastern end of Lake Erie, and this particular model really doesn't do a good job of showing it, just a few of these little potato flakes, but some of the indications do show that this could be a significant snowfall. I want to use that lightly, but this is just one computer model output here, and it's showing, this goes all the way until the afternoon on Saturday, so this does not take into effect Sunday, but this is just one computer model output, and understand there's lots of models we look at. This is just one, and it's pointing to about 3 to 5 inches. Again, it's still a little bit too early for exact numbers, but that is something we're going to keep an eye on as we go throughout the next day. Next 7 days coming up right now, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny, 41 tomorrow. And again, the better chance for that rain and snow mix will be throughout the nighttime. Lake effect snow likely Saturday and Sunday. A few scattered snowflakes likely Monday, 30 degrees. And then as we head into mid next week, we still will have a chance for a few light lake effect snow showers with temperatures in the lower 30s. We will take a break and be right back. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back. So get this, Americans are planning on a big splurge when this pandemic's all under control. That's according to a new survey by LendingTree. The personal finance site surveyed more than 1,200 people online last month. 82% of them said that they planned on celebrating after they get vaccinated. Some said they were planning on a fancy dinner, while others were hoping to take a vacation. Same here. Not everyone was ready to spend more time to celebrate, though. 15% of people surveyed said that they do not believe that they will ever feel financially secure again. Even after a vaccine, many of those asked say they will continue to save as much as possible just in case the virus returns. Well, the Consumer Electronics Show is in full swing, and major changes are in place this year. CES, as it's called, kicked off their tech industry's biggest showcase this week, virtually for the first time ever. And COVID-19 inspired gadgets and products are claiming to help you get through the pandemic. Everything from smart masks and virus-detecting stickers are creating lots of buzz there. Mandy Gaither takes a closer look in today's Consumer Watch.
Pandemic-inspired tech, COVID-19 pushing the 2021 Consumer Electronics Show online and influencing the gadgets and tech unveiled at CES this week.
This year, anti-germ gadgets are a huge deal. They're coming in every shape and size. I've seen gigantic robots that can drive through rooms, shooting rays of UVC light to sterilize big rooms, something like you'd see in a hospital, all the way down to germ-crushing backpacks and keyboards.
The question is whether the tech that works in hospitals will also work on surfaces in the home. Nationally syndicated tech columnist Jennifer Jolly says coronavirus-inspired wearable tech is also a big trend. AirPop's new Active Plus Smart Mask comes with a sensor that connects to your smartphone and claims to monitor your breath and outside air quality. And check out the Bio button. It sticks to your body and claims to track temperature, breathing, heart rate, and activity level. We haven't had a chance to test it ourselves.
The maker, BioIntelliSense, told us that after a few days, the gadget can collect enough data to help identify if you have symptoms of possible COVID-19 infection, even if you don't know that you're sick.
Another big hit is touchless tech, everything from touchless doorbells, toilets, and faucets, all aimed at cutting down on the transmission of germs and bacteria. Robots have always been a big hit at CES, and this year it's no different.
It's called the Petite Kubo. It's supposed to make you feel a little less alone.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, Mandy, thank you. CES wraps up its virtual event today. Well, Dee, we've been talking about this quite a bit, and I don't know if I truly believe that that monitor would be able to figure out if you had COVID. I guess maybe if, they say you have a fever, right, and other vital signs could lead to possibly having it, but there's still other medical things out there which lead to a fever, so I'm not sure if I fully trust that just yet.
Right. And already 1 year is all it took for a smart mask.
Yeah, that's quick. Consumer demand.
I mean, this is part of the reason why, and I won't get into the backstory, but my first major in college was CIS, Computer Information Systems.
Yeah, Dakota's a techie. You need him to fix your device, give him a call.
Yeah. Computers, I don't do phones or tablets. I don't do them for obvious reasons. But I got out of tech because it's just not the same anymore. It's Wi-Fi and everything. We're making things smart that don't need to be smart. And it's just like, what? I mean, the whole point of innovation, Jay and his dumb water bottle.
I love this thing. I love the water.
I actually made a joke over the weekend because,
it tracks how much I drink.
Because, I think most of our viewers know that we're in a group chat together. All the staff members here, we're in a
that
private
thing's
group
crazy.
Chat. Yeah.
Whew.
And so, Jay posted a picture that his girlfriend bought more of those things.
She has 3 now.
Yes.
3
so
smart water bottles.
Jay said he doesn't see a problem with it, but I told him you won't see a problem with it until those things become self-aware, like Snuffles on Rick and Morty. Remember when Rick came out with the helmet for Snuffles to make him smarter, and he became self-aware, and he took over the planet, and his smart dogs?
Do you want
That's
world
what that
domination?
water bottle is going to do.
Do you want world domination, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Let us know what you think about these cool gadgets.
You haven't drank in a while. Drink water.
Good to see Steve.
We will take over the world.
Good to see you.
See, I told you it became self-aware.
Yeah, you're a great weatherman, but I'd try ventriloquism another time.
Yeah, I know. What do you think? Okay, let's just get right into final weather.
I want to just real quick. The pet thing, that is a cool tech that I could get behind. The furry pet, because I saw no. They did this at Heritage in Gary, and they gave residents those like for real friend pets.
Yeah.
And they really made an impact. So I think.
So it's basically a grown-up Furby.
Yeah, pretty much. And a
Remember
lot of these
Furbies?
residents haven't seen friends and family, and it kind of gives them something to do. So it's cool. It's cool. I get behind that.
Personally, I'd buy a used Furby before I would buy one of those.
Yeah. All right, time for weather.
All right.
I'll let you go.
28 to 34 tonight, just lots of clouds around, but the wind does tick up overnight out of the southeast, 7 to 14 miles per hour. And tomorrow, rain and snow. Then we get some snow showers over the weekend. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. We'll leave you with a live look over Wally World in Lakewood. Have a great day. We're back tomorrow, our TGIF edition.